This next section, I would like to show what would happen if you got all of that down and had that in the 12 keys. And now you're going to go through the circle again using major 7s and adding 9. Here's how you can do it. So C major triad plus a G major triad gives you a C major 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So how about some nice sounding major 7, 9 voicings, and also learning theory, and a nice brain exercise to go work our way through the key. So there's a lot you can discover by going this way. So we're going to take our C chord, but instead of going like we did, we went this way. And so on. I'm going to keep that same idea, but I'm going to displace it 1. So I'm going to go right to the G, but I'm going to play that over C. So now I have a really nice open sounding C major 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And there's the root. I'm sorry, there's the 5th. But we're doubling. And as you know, many people will say, don't double. You can't double because it sounds horrible. You have 10 fingers, use all of them. So remember that. That somebody will tell you that. But when you want to get rid of a note, all you do is get rid of it. So do you want it out of the right hand? Don't play that. There's a root position G. If you want it in the right hand, then get rid of it in your left hand. You can add later and put colors in, so that's fine. But you have to start somewhere, and you can't learn if every time you turn around there's something you're not allowed to do. That's the beauty of music. You do all of it, you learn all of these rules, and then you gradually figure out what are the rules that work for your personality. It's the only place you can do that and actually not hurt people or step on people or cause problems. That would be chaos if everybody lived that way. But you can do that in music because the rules are the same. You're just deciding to leave certain notes out or put certain notes in. But we're not talking about dissonance or something very obnoxious. We're talking about a G and a G that we're saying maybe we'd like both them in there, and it sounds fine. Or maybe we're going to give this to one instrument and this to a different instrument. So when you get into not doubling, it's mainly for arranging on your instrument. You might like more notes, or you might like extra color, and we can talk about that another time. But for now, what if you were writing for all kinds of instruments, or what if this was a bunch of voices? Then it wouldn't be so problematic to double that. It kind of depends on where your melody is in the end. For now, we're learning chords, learning theory, and we've got a really great thing that's about to happen, because here's my C, and this is my upper structure, as we call it, or my major 7. The next chord we're going to go to in the circle is G, because we're going circle of fifths. 2, 3, 4, 5, and that means I go to my D, like we did in the previous section. This is a really nice major 7. This is a G major 7 with 9 right there. Notice we don't have a third, so that's why it sounds so open. If you want to put the third in, you could play with your thumb, and that really made it nice. So that's an option. So let's back up again and think about what we did. And now, if we're going to do C, then the previous chord to C, circle of fifths, would have been F. Now I do a lot of tenths because I can reach them. It's really pretty to roll those. I'm going root, fifth, 10, or 3, an octave above. and then I'm going to hit the triad. And then I'm going to do the G. Notice I played the 10th and got out of the way and played the D. So I have C on the F. Then we go to C, and then we go to G. Getting some really nice sounds here. Now, I'm going to go through this slowly with the notes on the camera screen so that you can see what I'm doing. This is an incredibly wonderful way to develop your brain, to develop your ear, and to come up with some great ideas. I'm going to keep it simple and do the same thing, but I'm keeping the inversion idea from our previous section with major triads. We're just using the triads in a displaced fashion, but it becomes those things that go on top really well and sound great. Okay, now our next place to go is the key of C. If you have to, pause the video so you can see what's happening and think this through. It's a great way to go. I'm going very slow. And remember, you don't get anything out of this by going, you know, it's so pointless to try to get this fast, because this is not a technical exercise. This is ear training and formation of your brain and developing your personality. You can't discover these sounds if you're trying to get them down, but you could stop there and hang out for a week on just that. That sounds so good, and I did. So, I mean, I just can't believe the amount of color. We haven't even talked about the options of expanding the technique. Put the C on top. So we're going to do an octave. Some piano technique this way. Let's just back up and do C again. C with F. So this is really the key of F. This is an F major 7. 3, 5, 7, 9. Notice I get this little, that comes from playing Chopin. You don't have to play Chopin, you can get it this way. Then on to D. Notice taking the time, like taking the longer time with it and seeing, what does this sound like? What does it feel like? And just enjoying that. That's really, this is improvisation. That's what you're doing. You're improvising, you're creating, you're building, you're developing, you're learning. I mean, all of the above. You're discovering where all these things are, all these sounds. You're teaching yourself theory at a nice, slow pace. So you can go through the rest of the circle with this idea, using just that original idea of mine here, and so on. And in each new place, you can be playing a completely different chord. So this was a C triad, now it's an F major. What a great sounding chord with 9 on the top. In the long run, you don't have to go circle. You may say, well, what does that sound like? What if I take a root position and go down a whole step? So let's go down to E flat. And then that means we're going to take a B flat triad here. This is a complete tangent. We're leaving the circle and we're making a decision. I want to know what this sounds like a whole step apart. And that's what it sounds like. So take these through and try them like that, and stick to this inversion idea, because that will help you stay organized. It will help you learn voice leading. You can try the other inversions. Of course you should do that. But I only have so much time in a video. I want to get the idea to you. You've got to do what you want with it, and this opens it up so you can. So I hope you'll check that out, and then we can build on some more of these ideas next time. And I'll see you then.